So today, I'm not sure what to bring to this little practice of mine. But then I had lunch with a friend, and she was asking me about how I was able to keep my balance somehow in all of the uncertainty which I'm facing at the moment. And so, given that there's this theme of uncertainty in my life and my uncertainty about what to bring today, I thought maybe that's not a bad place to start. So the uncertainty, this is something that everybody, I think, will recognize. But I'll speak from my experience, which is I've always had this illusion most of my life that I could control the uncertainty. And it's really interesting because my training as a violinist, a lot of what we are taught to do is to control as much as possible the uncertainty of being on stage. And so there's all these practices that go into, all this practice that goes into preparing for the unknown, that moment where we communicate and perform to an audience. But more recently, I'm beginning to understand that there is, that if I can, when I relax and lean into the uncertainty rather than contract around it and try to control it, I find that there's something really interesting that happens. And as I talk to you about it, I can feel it in my body as well. It's akin, the excitement and the energy that is alive in me when I am leaning into an uncertainty is similar to it feels like a kind of arousal. And so in terms of my life at the moment, next week I'm going to start flat hunting, and my income is quite uncertain at the moment, and it's really scary. There is so much uncertainty around that. And I can really feel, and I keep catching myself in that moment of, that uncertainty, that old pattern of contracting around it, which means that immediately I start thinking, oh, but what happens if I can't make the rent, if I can't do this, what if my business doesn't get off the ground, what if I don't find any clients, and I keep catching myself. And this is a practice, by the way, these moments of awareness, and then it feels like it's like a ball that I'm catching and going, oh yes, this is familiar, and actually I want to see what's on the other side and do something different with it. And in that moment, when those thoughts come up, I'm able to go, actually, what is happening in the here and now? Because that anxiety about uncertainty is a projection. It's not something that's happening right now. Right now, I am safe. I have food in my belly. I know that I am loved. I feel comfortable in my body. I feel joy and playfulness and a sense of excitement if I really relax and tap into that. And this is the place from which I want to approach the uncertainty. I don't know how things are going to unfold, and I trust that things will be okay. And even if they're not, I will always have this resource of being able to go back to my body and expand instead of contract. And the thing about this place of expansion is that what it gives me is that it's like broadening my horizon. So when I contract around the uncertainty, I find myself, it's like looking at something through a keyhole. But if I relax into it and find and reconnect to the pleasure that exists in my body in any given moment, then I feel like my horizons expand, and suddenly I can see my situation with much more clarity. The different options that are available to me, the resources, the source of joy and fun and love and pleasure and all of those things. So that's my practice around uncertainty at the moment. It's a kind of reframing, I think, a kind of reframing of the very natural reaction that we have. Or natural, maybe it's not natural. I suspect it's partly conditioned, if not entirely conditioned, but it does seem to be something that's quite prevalent in the Western world in which we live. That probably comes from some kind of idea that we ought to know what's going to happen, that we ought to have certainty around certain things, and maybe that's something that we need to question. So that's enough for today. Good night.